The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guest and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this broadcast or podcast without the express written consent of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, or Spaced Out Radio Limited is strictly prohibited. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Approach Skype 6316, 8.8 for 6,000. Got 6316, North Approach, going to maintain 3,000, number 1 for the right. 3,000, Skype 6316. Redwood 811, going to maintain 4,000. Airport's open to Fox 1.
We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again. We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again.
6 Roman Carefly runway heading runway 5. Let's take off.
Check!
And we are ready for takeoff. Sit back, relax. It's time to travel with Cosmic Passport. Spaced Out Weekend presents Elizabeth Anglin's Cosmic Passport. A 1-hour warm-up of news, stories, thoughts, and ideas to captivate your mind. You can follow us at spacedoutradio.com.
Now 20 years have passed us by, and we look back and count the time. Burning like the summer sun, when the world was young. As I lay staring from the ground, and 7 trumpets wait to sound.
And now, here's Our Lady of Flight, Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Weekend on spacedoutradio.com. This is Elizabeth Anglin, your host of Cosmic Passport, coming to you from Uncle Jimbo's cabin tonight in the snowy, cold northern heavens of the far left coast of North America, somewhere up there in a place called Canada, where I understand you've had a big dump of snow. Well, I'm down here in New Mexico, where today it was a balmy 59 degrees, so I decided to invite Kevin the Bigfoot down. He's not here yet, but when he gets here, he's going to warm up, because we are not getting snowed on. Woohoo! We are so happy to welcome our newest stations to the Spaced Out Radio family. We would love to see soon WQEE FM 99 Rock, but we haven't seen them yet. Broadcasting out of Greater Atlanta from noon in Georgia. We hope that you're here soon. We are also welcoming Renegade Talk Radio in Las Vegas, UPRM 107.7 in New Orleans, Wolf Spirit Radio, the High Plains Radio Network, Forest Moon Paranormal, listeners coming to us on Spreaker, TuneIn, and iTunes. Thank you all for being here. Please join us on chat on Spreaker if this is your first night tuning in live, and you can find a chat room. This chat room is at spacedoutradio.com. If you want to be an SOR Space Traveler, we do have SOR Space Travelers chat room on Facebook. And the other thing space travelers get is cool stuff like free books, swag, private interviews, and archives of all of the spacedoutradio.com shows and more good stuff. Tonight we're continuing on talking about Edgar Cayce and the Akashic Records and Edgar Cayce's life. Because as you know, recently, if you've been listening to Spaced Out Weekend, we've been talking part of the month with Skeeter Welhouse about the shift, the change that may be imminent. And this is something that Edgar Cayce was also interested in way back in the Wayback Machine. Edgar Cayce has done a lot of work on ancient mysteries. He's also done work on prophecy, and some of his prophecies have been confirmed, or mostly confirmed, by science. Time went on, scientists found out that a lot of the stuff that sounded crazy that he said was actually happening, or did happen, or appeared to have happened. So here are some of the prophecies that Edgar Cayce made. There were 7 that came true. One was the stock market crash of 1929. And the prophecy came about in February of 1925, and it was during a life reading of a physician. And when Cayce started reading this young man, he said he would soon find himself in possession of a great deal of money, but he advised him to exercise caution and discretion in caring for the wealth, because there would be adverse forces that would come about in 1929. Then, on another occasion in March 1929, 6 months before the crash, a stockbroker was given a warning of a great disturbance in financial circles that would take place later on that year. And basically, the Spirit said that you could expect a considerable break and bear market. See? They were basically saying, see? Look, see what we see? The issue being that there was, between those reserves of nations and individuals, would cause a devaluation. And there was no regulation. So basically, he both prophesied that there would be a stock market crash and the reasons for it. And as it got closer, the spirits were saying, the warning has been given. See what we mean? So that was 2. He was not the guy who was in the New York Times telling people to put their money in the stock market, which everybody did, and there was a woman who did that. And much to the chagrin of everybody, and up until the day that it happened, she had her column and she was saying, yes, stock market is great. Well, that did not go well for her afterwards. Edgar Cayce also saw World War II coming. He warned a 29-year-old freight agent of catastrophic events that were happening in the international community. And this was in response to a question regarding global affairs. And the readings described the world at war. And he couldn't see that it was necessarily an unchangeable destiny. He warned that the tendencies in the hearts and souls of men are such that the world at war would be brought about. And so it was. That's what happened. Pole shift. We have had a slight pole shift. Now, if you don't believe that, you can go to Nova, PBS television program, which started reporting on it around the year 2000, 2001. He basically, the question was, what great change, or the beginning of what change, if any, is to take place in the earth in the year 2000 or 2001 AD? So somebody was asking him about millennial changes, and what he came up with was a cycle of pole shift. And he gave this prophecy in August of 1936. And basically, at about that time, Nova came up and started talking about the Earth's magnetic field changing and basically slowing down, that there had been a great storm. Everybody, please excuse me. My dog will not be quiet if I don't do this thing. Okay. So, that being said, they explained, the Nova scientists said that 2,000 miles beneath our feet is the Earth's molten core. There's a vast ocean of liquid iron that generates the magnetic force. And it makes our compasses point north, but it does a lot more. It keeps the Earth a living planet. Basically, Venus and Mars only have very weak magnetic fields, which means that they don't have an atmosphere, and they are unprotected by radiation sweeping through the solar system from the sun and other places. The Earth, on the other hand, exists because we have this iron core and this magnetic cocoon and a force field that for billions of years has sheltered us on our journey through space. But now the scientists are starting to discover there's a storm brewing within the Earth, and that storm is weakening the magnetic shield, and that is causing pole shifting, which they expect to become more versus less. So Edgar Cayce in 1936 saw this happening, saw it being discovered around the year 2000, and so it was. Convergence of communication companies. Oh my goodness, this was in 1929. And he described how varied channels of communications working in a more cooperative and structured manner would come to pass. And the consolidations will take place as communications company is given in 1928, which was American AT&T, International TNT, ITT. He basically said they're all going to get together and they are going to become huge conglomerates. And there would be varied fields of communication, like, now we have the internet, telegram, radio operative forces is what he said. All of these things would come together as communications commodities and would become very big businesses. Well, we've seen that happen. Looking into the past, Edgar Cayce described the life of the Essenes, the sect that Christ was from. And this was many, many years before the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Texts that are attributed to the little-known sect called the Essenes, they were not discovered yet. But Edgar Cayce did know about the sect and did know what their life was like. And the first Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1947, which was 2 years after he died. But he mentioned the Essenes in 171 different readings. And some of the things that he said were, before this, we find the entity, the person he was reading for, was during those period when there was much turmoil in the land of Judea, when they were announcing the prophet or a new teacher, and all of Judea had gone out to John the Baptist. This person was among them that had been students of the Essenes and was in direct connection with many that had been prophesying and had been searching the records of or for the coming new light to those that had been hemmed in by tradition and by the acts of peoples in a political and religiously purposed land. So he's starting to talk about, he calls them the Essenes, and then they find the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they call them the Essenes. It's kind of amazing. But he does that 171 times in readings for individuals. Blood used as a diagnostic tool was number 6. He basically said that many illnesses would be able to be diagnosed through looking at a drop of blood. And that he described what was in blood, red blood cells, white blood cells, and lymph, and they would be separated out to very small portions, and the act of building, staining, and destroying and resuscitating portions of that system would be able to diagnose issues. So, when you are testing blood, and Eric Markham can tell you more about this, you will separate it out. And it's usually more than a drop, but basically he's saying this is how you're going to be doing diagnoses. And that is mainly what we do. We have the CBC, the Chem panel, that didn't exist in 1927. La Nina and El Nino effect was number 7. And he made the connection between temperature changes and deep ocean currents and weather changes in a reading which was 195-29. And he said, as the heat or cold in the various parts of the earth is radiated off and correlated with reflection in the earth's atmosphere, This in its action changes the currents or streams in the ocean. He was not a geographer. He was not an earth scientist. But this was coming through in a reading that he was doing for someone else. And today, the reading at that time was concerning the future of wheat crops and weather patterns. So somebody was trying to do wheat as a commodity. And today the comments can be seen to be a version of the La Nina and the El Nino effect and how those affect crops in the U.S. and wheat crops. So those were 7 things that he prophesied that came true. There were others that are yet to come. And some of those are, let's see, which do we want to, how long will our lifespan be? He said that we would end up living a very, very long time. Longer than back then. So that has not happened yet, and it looks like our lifespan may be shortening just by a year or two lately. Will we discover a design for a self-fueling perpetual motion machine? He said yes, that the machine would need energy to make it initially start, but then it would keep fueling itself. And we are close to that. We're not there yet, but there are magnetic machines, magnetic turbos that can do that sort of thing. Conflict in the Persian Gulf. Oh my goodness. His words on that are so like what's happening today that I can't even go into them. But basically he's saying there will be conflict in Egypt, in Turkey, and in Syria. And through the straits about those areas above Australia, which is Indonesia, and in the Indian Ocean and in the Persian Gulf. And this was in April 28th, 1941. Well, in Indonesia, what you have right now, and this is not to say anything bad about anyone, is there are a lot of conflicts and there are a lot of Muslims and Christians, and it's a very mixed society, but it's a rich society, but it's also probably going to become more conflicted as there are more Wahhabi sects and things that move into the area. We have seen Egypt. We have seen Turkey, we have seen Syria, all go in the past few years into conflict. And he basically says that this is the struggles, the powers of light and darkness struggling with each other again. The powers of death and destruction, the wrecking of that which has been and is held near and dear to the hearts of those who have through one form or another a set of ideals. So like the wrecking of, somebody deciding to wreck the wall or attack Mecca or to destroy things in Iraq that even the United States bombing Iraq, you're destroying things that are held near and dear to the country. Relics and Afghanistan, so many things that were destroyed. So he's talking about the destruction of this cultural heritage in those areas, in Persia, in Syria. That's all happening. So he also talks about a root race developing. I don't know exactly what that means. That's not been said yet. And he says that there are 3 halls of records on the earth that the people of Atlantis made because they became aware that their civilization was about to be destroyed. And so they hid records of their civilization in Bimini, in Egypt, and in the Yucatan. And he does, in numerous readings, say that these halls of records will be rediscovered and people will find out about the Atlanteans. What's the shape of the world to come was another one. And he predicted that China would enter the global stage and become the ruling country as we go on into the future, and that would also become a very Christian country. And then people ask, would there be a second coming? And he had a lot to say about the lost years of Jesus and that were addressed in the Bible, but he also spoke about Jesus' return, and it was not, he basically said that he will come back, and that you should make way for him. So he basically agreed with Revelation. He'll come back. Make way for him. And just get ready for that. Not in the get ready or you're going to, go to hell, because he didn't really seem to believe in that. He believed in life everlasting. But just get ready. Yeah, he'll be back, just like the rest of us come back. Okay. That being said, we are going to do some Akashic record readings tonight again, and you can call in tonight again. We have a number for you. I'm not sure where James is right now. James, are you? You are? What's our number for people to call in?
It is 575-694-6634. Again, 575-694-6634. Or if you have Skype, which is a fancy internet communication device, so also prophesized by Edgar Casey. No, hold on. No, it wasn't. It's James _ Tyson 32. And again, the number, I'll give you the number, so grab your crayon. 575-694-6634. And the Skype address is James _ Tyson 32.
Okay, so I am now monitoring the SOR Space Travelers chat room. I'm going to go back and look and see who has asked any questions. Yes, Michael, I am monitoring. Does anybody have any questions? You can ask them by chat. It's good if I know your name and how old you are if we're looking at the Akashic records, because I get timelines for things. And if I don't know how old you are, I don't know if that happened in your past or in your future. It's just a thing. Hold on. Anybody? Any questions? Okay.
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
I thought Akashic records were that list of things you wanted to do before you came into the life.
That's part of them, and that's. You can look up your life lesson plan in the Akashic records. You can also look up who you were, what your relationship was, what your karma was. But yes, we tend to pick things that we want to work on that we haven't necessarily worked on before. And the Tibetans also talk about this. They say that when people get reborn, like, you'll have a lama in one lifetime who will be incredibly psychic. And this, for example, the Dalai Lama. The lama before him was incredibly psychic. Knew where he was going to be born next time, knew which lama to send out looking for him, knew all sorts of good stuff. But our current Dalai Lama is not psychic at all. Oh. He does not. He can meditate all the time. He gets bupkis. Okay. So you're learning about things in different ways through different lifetimes, and so you'll pick something. You might have a life that's really strong in logic and reason, and then your next lifetime you might decide that you want to learn about emotion and subjective reality. So
we have a caller.
Okay.
It's Bradley. He's actually going to be calling in another hour to get another reading, but Bradley's 28. Go for Elizabeth, Brad.
Hey, Elizabeth. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm 28. I'm just wondering if I have anything in the Akashic records for me.
Okay. So I do have your guide who's going to the Akashic records, and it's actually your female guide.
Wonderful.
And I love what she's wearing. She's got a very see-through kind of mesh with metallic flowers in it, and in metallic shiny stuff, and it's got blue and gold and greenish, and wow, she's just really cool looking. But she's going off to the Akashic records. It does help if you have a question about them, or do you just want to know what she wants to look up?
Yeah, I'm open to hearing what she wants to look up. Yeah.
Okay. So, the main thing is that there's a potential as you go through your Saturn return for you to close down, and she wants to say that you are are you trying to open your third eye? Is this a thing that you're trying to do right now?
Yes, I mean I'm always actively trying to do that. I meditate quite a bit.
Okay.
One of the main things for sure.
Okay. What we want to say, both of us, to you is stop trying and just let it happen. So no more trying, just let it be. And remember that your visual imagination is your connection to seeing clairvoyantly. So when you remember something and you see that memory in your mind's eye, that's the same thing that you use when you're trying to work with clairvoyance. When you feel something, like when you feel an emotion or you feel something in your heart, that's the same thing you use with clairsentience. When you hear something, like your own thoughts, when you meditate and you notice your own thoughts and you hear your little thought mind going blah, 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 that's the same voice that you'll receive clairaudience with. So focus less on it being in the center of your forehead and more being part and parcel of your senses. Because she says that by 30, as you go through Saturn return, if you focus too much on it, you're going to close down versus open up.
Okay.
Okay? There's a female teacher coming for you at 30, 31. I don't know if she's meant to be, because she's relatively the same or a similar age. She has dark hair. She's going to teach you a lot at the age of 30 and 31 and 32, like between 30 and 33. Very dark, almost black hair, kind of like paisley colored hair, but she seems to be closer to your age. Hold on one second. And she's just saying, look for her, because your relationship with this female human is going to open you up through your 30s. And do you do Tai Chi, or do you do any sort of like Japanese stick work, like working with sticks, martial arts?
No, but I did as a kid, like sort of karate with bow staffs, but I do yoga currently. Okay.
There is going to be a good exercise for you in your 30s, both to keep you and get you centered in your intuition and get your energetic body centered, is bow staff work, which you've already done. And it could be the Tai Chi with the swords, but it looks like actually it's more like bow staff work, like the Japanese Aikido staff, whatever that is, work. And maybe it's Shotokan. I don't know them well enough, but you are working with a stick, and that extension of the stick allows you to expand your energy through the stick and then pull it back into yourself through the movements. And so you're expanding and pulling back in and expanding and pulling back in. And when you do that, you're gathering energy and centering all of your bioenergetic bodies. And your guide is saying, that's in your Akashic for something for you to learn to do, but it keeps you centered and sane. And it's something that you could actually teach. And it's something that you'll find a lot of people a lot of your soul friends, you'll find on that path. Similar to yoga, but even more so. Okay. And so your soul group is kind of doing that kind of Tai Chi / bow staff stuff.
Yeah. May I just jump in there real quick? Bradley,
Mm-hmm.
it's Kendo.
Kendo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you recall, because you actually were living or had experiences that you had living on a military base in Japan?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay. It's Kendo is a discipline. It's a sword technique. It's a big bamboo sword, and sometimes a smaller one. They wear those cool helmets. And anyway, where I grew up was very, very popular in the community I grew up in. But that may be a memory, or that may be connected to when you were a little kid on a military base in Japan. You would have been exposed to things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I do have memories of that as a younger child. Going and seeing different demonstrations and things like that, and and my brother and I actually had ones that we would sort of practice and play with.
Yeah.
So what you need to know about the Akashic Records, that anything that you have done, most of the places that you find yourself, especially if you're an older soul, they give you opportunities to remember who you once were. So the fact that you lived in Japan, that you were introduced to this as a child, it actually was your first opportunity to remember something that you already knew. And now it's coming back up again, is you're not there now, but pursue it, because it's going to revive in you. It's going to bring more of your soul into your body through reviving something that you already know.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Okay, so she's going to, your female guide, I'm going to say she's going to flit off only because she looks so, beautiful and diaphanous, but she's giving you a big kiss on the forehead, and she's flitting off now so somebody else can ask their question.
Oh, very cool. Well, talk to you in a bit, Brad.
All right.
Okay, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If anybody else wants to give us a shout, please do. And the number again is 575-694-6634, or beam us on Skype, James_Tyson32. I've got a call coming in from a 203 area code, and it looks like I'm going to stand by here. And we will, I'm going to end up having to call that person back, I think. We've got a conundrum going on. Elizabeth?
I will, comes in, I'll look at your question. JA Kalskett on SOR Space Travelers.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to be calling a guy back here.
Oh, okay.
Adding him to the group call, or a guy or a girl, the 203 area code, as it is about to pump up.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Who's this?
Hi.
This is Melissa. I couldn't find where to go on the chat, so sorry about that.
Oh, well,
no, this
we're
is
just going
good.
to wait here then. Go ahead, Melissa.
No, this is good, Melissa.
Sounds good. It was fun to hear Bradley. He's a friend of mine. So yeah, I'm open to also what is available to be shown to me. I'm 57.
Okay.
So I don't know if you need to know anything else.
So your guide is being very funny. I have your male guide tonight, and he's bearded, which is kind of a joke now in the paranormal community for me. But in my town, he's white bearded. He's white bearded and white haired, and he's not Santa Claus, but he's making a joke about, like putting on the red vest and, I look like Santa Claus, but he's not Santa Claus. So he's going to go. And who's Jeffrey? Do you know Jeffrey?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's mentioning... Go ahead and tell me about Jeffrey, because he's mentioning Jeffrey, that he's going to go look, but he wants to add Jeffrey to this. So I don't know how. So just give me perspective. Jeffrey is
he's someone I dated back in my 20s, and he's kind of come back into my life, but really as a friend. He's married. He's not at the top of my thoughts. We have a sort of old connection, like a soul friend.
He is a soul friend. So what he wants to say is he's going to the Akashic Records, and what he'd like to say is Jeffrey is a soul friend. It's been this lifetime and the two before that you've come together for a period of time, and you've been very helpful to each other. And one of those periods of time was you basically saved each other or took care of each other during the Western push of like the mountain men, the voyageurs, and the Native Americans. And so you had sometime in the mid-1800s a lifetime where you took care of each other within that framework. And it was a very intense time period of about 10 years of really working together. And it's like only you and only your animals and only, so if you're more distant now, it's because of a bit of cabin fever. but you can absolutely trust this person to be there for you if you should need something.
Yeah, I think that would describe our bond. And I think since I've known him, in fact, the first time I saw him, I thought he was Native American. We both have that strong sort of resonance with, I think, that era. I'm in a peaceful place about that relationship now. And of course, now I'm wanting to ask about someone in particular that I'm probably more
okay. Go ahead.
Emotionally tied to. So his name is Ray.
Ray is energy coming in the future. You don't have a tremendous amount of energy with him in the past, which there might have been in the lifetime before this, like a brief, almost like brushing his arm with some interest kind of thing. But I see a very futuristic, like as humankind ventures into space, you and Ray go there. It's like,
we'd rather think of that.
like when we start doing Star Trek, you and Ray are out there, with actually doing that kind of thing. But you haven't spent a lot of time. There was just this looks like the late 20s, early 30s that there was you noticed each other and you were interested, but nothing really happened. Okay, so he says it's kind of like a decision that you're going to do some stuff together, but it's in the future. So
future's a good place to go.
Yeah, the future is a good place to go. It's not based on needing to replay karma from the past. So it's
cool.
Pretty wide open, treat each other well and you won't generate any negative karma.
Yeah. So. Well, it's an interesting relationship. We've never met in person. We had a very intense, say, probably 6 weeks communicating in distance and fell in love, but we've never met. And now that it's on pause. So I'm getting a lot of lessons about just being here and trusting everything.
Well, what he will confirm is that if he would say, yes, it would be better in this lifetime if you actually do get together because you didn't in the last lifetime. And he said, if you don't, you will get together in another lifetime in one of the next 3, if not every one of the next 3. So you have a long-term plan to spend some time together. You're curious about each other.
Yeah. Can he speak to what it is that threw us apart recently?
Ray wants to be open, but he's kind of a disbeliever. So the song, When I Saw Your Face, Now I'm a Believer. Well, he's he'd like to be a believer, but when it comes right down to it, he won't allow himself to go there.
He lost faith.
And it's his own sort of muddled, mixed up, not, buying into limitation, buying into the appearance of struggle and lack. And all of that. Not yours.
So it wasn't for lack of love. It was
struggle.
It was doubt.
Yeah, doubt. Yeah.
Impediments. Yeah. Like distance, lack of money. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Buying into all that. All the appearance of impossibility he's buying into.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
So interesting. Anything on the horizon for me?
He likes jokes. If you want to reel him back in, tell him jokes.
I'm just leaving them alone for now.
Yeah, leave them alone for now. But you still have opportunities this year.
Yeah, we have no lack of rapport. It's just I think it's a situation's got to play itself out.
Yeah, he's got to. Anybody want to send good energy toward Ray not feeling limited, unlimited abundance, unlimited possibility toward Ray's mindset? I think that his higher self would probably say, yes, please. So
bring it on.
Any of you who do Reiki want to do that for Melissa and Ray, go for it.
First of all,
Okay. Are we
Alrighty.
good, Melissa?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
That
you're
was
very
really
welcome.
nice.
Thanks
Thank
for calling.
you. Yeah, have a great night.
You too.
too.
Bye-bye. And I've got Teresa in the chat. I'm trying to determine... Oh, drat. I've got the wrong Teresa.
Well, we have Joyce. Joyce wants me to look at someone.
Sweet.
Her. Or J.A. Call Sket if you're in SOR chat room. So, no, if you can call in, Joyce, that would be easier for me. But I can connect if I have the name of the person. And we can look and see if there was a tragic event and if you're still working through it. That is part of the Akashic record things. And a lot of what Akashic record work is good for is sometimes you'll come up against your previous death trauma, and death trauma or survivor's guilt can oftentimes throw people for a loop in this lifetime, being afraid of repeating what happened the last lifetime where you died, or being afraid of or feeling disempowered because you witnessed people that you love die in a certain way. And so Akashic record work is really great for clearing that, because even just hearing about the situation, replays it in the energy field and gives you a chance to release it so you can be the person that you are here now, versus hanging on to the energy of the person that you were then that you're not anymore. So looking at tragedies in the past, looking at how somebody died. Okay, so Lena. Okay, let's look at Lena. And Joyce, one more question. Is this tragic event connected to you as well? Hold on. And I'm going to connect with Lena. Hold on. Well, I've got one thing, Joyce. There is a drowning. I'm not sure if this is Lena, but I see you trying to save somebody who's drowning. And you're not far under the water, but you somehow can't.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, hi.
Hold on a second. Teresa, just stand by.
Okay. So what it looks like, it not being far underwater, but you seem to be downstream, or something prevents you from being able to get a handle on this person, and you're watching the last bubbles escape from them as they drown, and you just can't seem to get a hold of them. And literally, if the person would just duck up like half a foot, they would be above water. Literally, if you could get there to that person, you would be able to save them. But the current or something else is keeping you from doing that. It is a sunny day. There's a lot of sunlight in the water. And unfortunately, you just can't get to that person who is drowning in time. Now, who is this person now? Hold on one second. There is a feeling of lack of forgiveness. Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? And it's hard for me to tell if that person is not forgiving you, or if you are not forgiving yourself. Why didn't you? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you save me? In any case, that lifetime is not happening now, so it would be better for both of you, and you can only start with yourself, to release it and forgive yourself for not being able to do what you wanted to do, not being able to be the person who saved. Just forgive yourself, forgive the situation, forgive yourself. And as far as that other person is concerned, they'll have to figure that out. Oh, she drowned in her own blood. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, okay. Well, forgiveness is the key, Joyce, between the two of you, because right now there's some holding against. There's some holding against about why you couldn't get there, or why you weren't able to help. But not something that you should hold on to. It's not helping anything. It's just creating stuck energy. So forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Forgive everything. Forgive the world. Forgive God. Forgive yourself. Teresa.
Actually, it's not. Teresa just got hold of me in chat. We were talking about the phone number and calling in, and I was all excited, and it's not her. Who is this?
This is Catherine.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, how are you?
Perfect.
Good. Well, thank you for taking my call. I'm sorry, I've never called in before. I usually don't talk. Okay. Okay, I just want to get my question out there. A little while ago, last year, I think it was, I visited the Akashic records, and there were two different entities talking. There was one that was kind of elder dragon type look, and then the other one was blue, but they were talking, and they took notice of me, and when I was done with what happened there, and I came back, I was, my voice changed. I was channeling a voice, but I guess my question is, they were talking about, I don't know if I should say it, a whole bunch of, they called it the fall of the eight. And I think they were talking about religions.
Yes.
And that the only way mankind will become into a better place is that first 8 of the religions have to fall, and there has to be a more centered couple.
Okay, you're fading in and out, and I can see the two beings that you're talking about, and I can get the feeling of you as a trance channel for one of them. Does that make sense to you? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
But I also get the sense that you were an oracle in the past. You were one of the state oracles. I'm not going to say Greece. I'm going to say Rome. As Rome became crazy as freaking freakdom in the 300s to 400s. You know, people don't understand what happened to Christianity, but they don't understand what happened to Rome is that the pagans would run Rome, and then the Christians would run Rome, and then the pagans would run Rome, and it was like every 3 years. So it'd be like us having a very liberal to a very, very conservative Caesar every 3 years, or president every 3 years, and a bloody coup every 3 years, you know. That's around the time that I would say, actually, okay, so now it's coming in clear, 250, 255, just before this period of the religions really whacking the crap out of Rome. And you were an oracle. And so for you to do trance mediumship, it's like falling off a log. And for you to trance mediumship this being that was coming through and talking, it's very simple, but it has to, so the fall of the 8 that they're talking about, write all that down. Make sure that you're taping yourself because you are basically remembering the you that you used to be, which was this very powerful state oracle. You didn't get to be the state oracle without being very clear or being, as a trance channel, you are not getting in the way of this message. So tape it. It's not a message for me. I think I would be a little bit afraid of it. So,
it took, because it took an odd turn, because I interrupted their conversation because they took notice of me. And I gave them a different idea.
Okay. Well, I think you're going to be okay, and I think you're going to do more of this kind of trance channeling. Just always make sure you have a recorder, because you're not going to remember what came through.
Oh, it took me completely by surprise, because it was like after I said what I said, I came back, and when I was finishing my sentence that I was saying to them, but it was in a completely different voice, and that's never happened before. So
yeah, it will be a completely different voice. It's definitely a trance. It's definitely a different being that has connections to this information coming through you. But I don't sense anything bad. I don't sense anything confusing. I just sense it's you doing the job that you used to do, and that you were known for doing way back when.
Okay. Good. Well, I appreciate it.
Good work. I mean, I'm impressed and scared at the same time. I mean,
go ahead.
In a good way, like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like scared, like, woo, that's powerful, So,
What a lovely big gun you have. Oh, no. It's marvelous, and you could kill me.
Yes.
Thanks very much, Catherine.
No problem.
Yes.
I wanted to throw out one more thing. Someone told me I would get verification of my angel's name, and I actually got it exactly 1 week later. I just wanted to throw that out there. So,
Oh,
just
awesome.
let everybody know.
Oh, very cool.
Thank you.
Thanks very much,
you.
Catherine.
No problem. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, that's really cool.
All right.
She got a verification of her angel's name, right?
Yes.
It's hard to hear. She was kind of hiding under the bed so no one could hear her. We did get a caller in the meantime, but that caller is gone and didn't have a number for me to call back, so it was an unknown number. And unfortunately, I can't call those back. So, and Skype is still doing its weird thing.
Yeah, who's the 203?
The 203, that was, or that is, the young lady we were talking to earlier.
Oh,
whose name
okay.
totally escapes me. Yeah, she's just probably hanging out listening.
Okay.
Watching.
Well, that's
She's
fine.
watching
Well, so when I in a few minutes, and I'm going to let you guys go. So here's my deal. This month, I'm holding a new client special, 33% off for new clients. My website is ElizabethAnglin.com. If you go to schedule your reading page, you can find the new client special. You don't need to come see me in person. I can do your reading over the phone. It's going to be for all of February, but please give me a shout if you want a reading. I'm calling this a general psychic reading, but we can do Akashic, we can do other things. If you have never called me before or gotten a reading, and if you've called me and gotten a reading on the radio, that's fine. I'll still consider you a new client. But it's ElizabethAnglin.com. Since I did just do a reading, next week we're going to have back our alien experiencer. So I won't be doing readings next week, and then I'll probably have Paul Ham the weekend after that. So I won't be doing readings after that. Paul Ham's going to be talking about physical mediumship and Zayton voices and other voices, direct voice that comes through for physical mediums the weekend after that. So the next time I will do any readings would be 3 weekends from now, just so you know.
3 weekends?
Yeah,
you're always making me do math.
I know.
And there's a February in there, so it's like,
it's
I'm
like
glad
the
they're
last
named.
weekend. The last weekend. So it'd be the 25th and 26th of February will be the next time.
Excellent.
That I'll do any kind of reading. So who we got? We got Paisley and...
We have Skeeter and Paisley. We're going to drag them out of here. And just for everyone's heads up, Joanna is 1 weekend, only one of the 2 mediums in a large. She'll be the later one in the month, kind of the 3rd weekend of the month, I believe, on some months, and maybe the last weekend. But it'll be the second 2 mediums in a large in the month. And the rest of the time is going to be Skeeter and Paisley. And when Skeeter can't make it, we're going to bring our friends from Australia in, and they're going to do some readings. Well, not all of them, because there's a lot of people in Australia. So
and we love everybody in Australia. We're going to just have them all show up and everybody talk at once because we love their accent.
Yes.
Yes.
No. And you, young lady, go until next Saturday. I don't want to see you around the cabin here, and leave the brownies where they are. And that pie that is frozen on the windowsill, that's mine. So off you go. Okay.
I'm taking the bourbon and I'm leaving.
Hey,
sure.
That's for the dog. Hey. Thank you, Mick.
Dang
Thanks
it.
very much, Elizabeth.
Okay, see you later.
You bet. And we'll be back shortly with 2 mediums and a large.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Hi there, this is your psychic medium Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on two mediums and a large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. Two mediums and a large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for news beyond the mainstream news? Head to spacedoutradio.com and check out the SOR Spacewire. This is Spaced Out Radio's Eric Markham, News Director for the SOR Spacewire. Daily, I will bring you intriguing stories and outlandish reports from what's going on around the world. UFO sightings, paranormal activity, conspiracies, alternative health, and so much more. And if you have news, email me at news@spacedoutradio.com.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
It's time to go live on Spaced Out Weekend.
13, please. Oh, hi, Kevin. Oh, is that the time? Kevin, my friend, don't you find that watch just a little bit loud? Well, I certainly hope our buddy Bumblefoot is playing when we get there. Oh, you stinky big bundle of hair. I said Bumblefoot, not Bigfoot. Oh, it's going to be a long night.
It's time to head to the 13th floor of the old log cabin for Spaced Out Weekend with James Tyson. You can tweet James at James Tyson SOR. You can find him on Instagram, Spaced Out Weekend, as well as on Facebook. On YouTube, our channel is Spaced Out Radio Show, and you can check out our website, spacedoutradio.com.
Little brother has taken control, shoveling dirt in every hole. Predators to condemn your soul, watching you and watching me. We're all connected but separated, misunderstood and so frustrated. A million armies of one have invaded, watching you and watching me. We live behind glass curtains, act like nothing's wrong. Soon you will belong. I know you're out there somewhere. We've watched you for so long. Wait for you to fall. We'll expose you all. I know you're out there somewhere. Watch it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spaced Out Radio. And I got to tell you right now, it is incredibly spaced out. There are things happening, things beyond my control. But I'd like to thank you for calling into or tuning into Spaced Out Weekend and for listening to us through spacedoutradio.com. On Spreaker, the High Plains Talk Radio Network, and coming soon, our fancy place, the very sad WQEE 99 Rock the Key in the greater Atlanta area, where they're sad right now because of a recent football game that got a lot of publicity. We want to thank our new affiliates, United Public Radio Network of 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We want to thank Renegade Talk Radio out of Las Vegas. And again, to those 160 countries around the world that we are pumped out every day to, Monday to Friday with Dave Scott, and on the weekends with me. And at Spaced Out Radio, we want to broadcast to you and have you listen to us. And don't make me pull this car over if you're deciding to change the channels. We are your number one stop when it comes to the supernatural, UFO, spiritual, conspiracy, paranormal, and more. And please, go to bumblefoot.com. Check out Ron Bumblefoot Thal. He is the man behind the music of all Spaced Out Radio. He's now in the Art of Anarchy. He was a guitar player for about 10 years with Guns N' Roses. He is a wonderful, wonderful human being, and he allows us to use his music on all our shows. You can check me out on Twitter at James Tyson SOR. Give my Facebook page a like at Spaced Out Radio Show and Spaced Out Weekend. On Instagram, you can follow me at Spaced Out Weekend. Come subscribe to us at the Spaced Out Radio Show on iTunes, on YouTube, and something called TuneIn. And of course, just drop by spacedoutradio.com. Tonight, here in our shoe, we allegedly have two mediums and a large. I say allegedly because, gosh darn it, I'm still trying to find people to come onto the show. Paisley, are you there with us? Paisley? Okay. It says that Paisley's with me, but now it's laughing at me. So we are still trying our best to get a hold of Skeeter Welhouse. Skeeter is a wonderful psychic medium that I actually ran into in a small town in Washington State called, what the heck was that town? Oh, that was the lovely Concrete, Washington. Skeeter, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am adequate, and I am hanging up on people as they phone in. I'm trying to get a hold of young Paisley, and we keep missing each other in Cyberland. How was your day?
Busy but good.
Busy but good.
Yes, we just got back from California yesterday, so.
Oh, yes, right. Well, that's going to be rather interesting. Yeah,
yes.
How was it? Oh, you were on a course down there, weren't you?
Yes, I was at an energy healing course called Jin Shin Jitsu.
Oh, Jin Jitsu. Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Jin Shin Jitsu. It is.
It is?
It's a lot like acupuncture.
Uh-huh.
Minus the needles.
Minus the needles? Well, that sounds quite exciting. Anything that's minus the needles, I find, is a lot of fun. And I definitely would be involved in something that has no needles in it, because that's just the kind of guy I am. And Paisley is now dropped off. We have Amy, are you still there?
I'm
Okay.
back.
Oh, good. Just keep waving. This is weird. We have a number of people that want to call in. In fact, we've been bouncing phone calls. Unfortunately, we got stuck with a whack of calls came in right as you were. And let's see how we can do this. Hi, who's this? Hello.
Hello?
Hello. That's what I said. Who are you?
This is Skeeter.
Skeeter.
I just called back in.
Thank you for calling back in. And I have no idea why you disappeared on me. But we're having a lot of fun so far. Oh, my Lord. And who else is with us?
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, this is Layla.
Hi, Layla. You're with Skeeter. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
I was waiting for you to call, but I had to call that.
Yeah, that was good because I was actually like trying to type it while I was doing this, but just wasn't working at all. Okay, Layla, Skeeter, Layla.
I'm here.
Okay, now I'm stressing out. You guys can deal with the whole psychic reading stuff, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Skeeter, are you there? Skeeter's not there anymore. This is a lot of fun. Okay, alrighty. Derek, are you there?
Hola.
Hola. Now, if we can get Skeeter back. Oh, my Lord. Let's see. We're trying to get you all in the same room at the same time. Wearing the same pants, which is a little embarrassing, but we're going to give it a shot.
It's fun, though.
It's fun, bouncing from one pair of pants to the other. Actually, no, that's not fun at all. Let me find Skeeter for you. I think she just ran down the hall to use the Skeeter room, and I'll find out what's going on. So, Derek, meet Layla.
Yes.
Layla, meet Derek. You guys are a lot of fun. I'd like to thank you for dropping by and playing You Bet Your Life. How long have you been together? Actually, for about 45 seconds now, James. It's a lot of fun.
Yes,
so we'll see how this goes. And Skeeter, where the dickens are you? I keep adding her to the group call, and it just keeps bouncing me back like there's nothing there. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Here's somebody else. Hi, who's this?
Hi.
Is this Layla?
I'm still here.
Okay, and who's 604 number? Hey, come on, you just phoned me. Okay, we have a 604 caller here. I am going. Oh, and there's Paisley. Look at that. Paisley's dropped by. Hello, Paisley.
Hi, James.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I am going sideways over here. We had Skeeter.
I can see that. We're trying to text you in the chat room, and you're not there.
No, because I've got 8 screens up right now, and none of them are chat rooms, because this is exactly where I need to be right now. One of the things I'm trying to do is find out where Skeeter went. I have yet to see her come by. But
we were trying to let you know what was happening. There was a bunch of us, Derek and Paris and myself, in the chat room with Karen, and you were calling in on another line, and the other line said if we pick it up, we will hang up on all the other people.
Okay. There is some group call. This is what happened earlier tonight. One of the people on the group call phoned in for a reading an hour early and dragged everybody else's numbers who were involved in that group in. So they all rang at different people, Karen and wherever. And it was just one person in that group were calling in, which isn't something I really want to go into right now because I've already gone into that in the back. So I guess what's happened is every time I phoned an individual who was named in that group, it added that individual to the group. So let's not worry about it. I just want to get Skeeter back. Right now, you have 3 people you can talk to, Paisley. And if you wouldn't mind doing that, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paisley Town. She is a numerologist. If you would like to give her your info, Layla, you may not because you're using your secret code name. Derek, you could use yours. And our friend at 604, if you're still there, you can get a numerology reading from Paisley.
Okay, so before we start, James, I just wanted to let the listeners know that if you're using a phony name or a fake name or a nickname, then numerology is not really going to work for you. So if you would like a reading and you have a question for me that is not to do with mediumship and talking to your ancestors, then I can take the spelling of your birth name and your date of birth, and I can run the numbers and give you some information about your personality type if you're interested. Is there anybody on the line that would like to have that kind of a reading?
Hello?
Is that Skeeter?
Yes.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
I can. It's like you actually came back. Skeeter, would you like a numerology reading?
I would love one.
Go for
but
it.
Would Paisley like a reading?
Well,
yes, she would.
I was going to ask that, but go ahead.
So, Skeeter, I know that Skeeter isn't your legal name. Is that correct?
Correct.
Would you be willing to type me your legal name and your birthday in the chat room, or would you like to tell me on air?
I can tell you on air.
Or you can tell me on the break, either way.
Oh, it's not a big deal. The only person allowed to call me that name is dead, so it won't be a big deal.
Okay, so do you use Skeeter for everything?
I do. I use Skeeter for everything.
Perfect. Go ahead. What's your birth name?
Amy, A-M-Y.
And what's your date of birth?
February 7th, 1976.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Holy cow. That's cool.
So, Skeeter, did you have a question for me? Are you still there, Skeeter?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh?
Well, it just says, I've got a thing across my screen that says, hold, while we try to get the call back. and Derek and Brad, if you're listening, you're going to have to update your Skype because you're all over the place. You're having issues. And, here she is. Here she comes now. And I'm pressing, this is really weird. She's got Mars is in her Jupiter box thing. I don't know, but it's she's coming and she's going, and it's the call keeps dropping on her on Skeeter, primarily because it's her birthday.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Skeeter.
Okay.
Hi.
Before you disappear, just everyone stand still. Who's not wearing their tinfoil hat? Derek?
Got mine.
Brad?
I've got mine on.
Sweet. Layla?
I'm here.
Okay, good. All right, Paisley, go.
Okay, so Skeeter, did you have a question for me? I've got your birthday numbers in front of me.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to be 41, which is a 5. I've had 5s jumping up everywhere along with 6s and 3s.
Okay.
And I had a really wild experience in California, and I'm thinking all these numbers have to do with that. So if you could kind of let me in on what's going on, I'd love it.
I can tell you this. If you go to Google, Skeeter, and you type in, I see 6s a lot, what does it mean? There's a ton of information there. I can tell you that the name Skeeter is a 6. I can tell you that the year you're born, when I add the numbers together, it adds up to a 5. I can tell you when I add up your entire birthday altogether, it adds up to a 5. Usually, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so usually things that have to do with psychic connection and psychic power have a lot to do with 3s and 7s and 1s. So, for example, things might come to you in 3s. That's just confirmation that you're right on track with what you're doing and your intuition. Like, so for example, let's say you're driving home from the grocery store and you see 333 or something like that. You see three of something the same, 3 polar bears, and you live in Florida, you know what I'm saying? You see 3 of something. That would indicate like you're driving home from the grocery store and you're thinking, I wonder if I should give Ronald a call. I wonder how he's doing, blah, blah, blah. The 3s will give you confirmation that yes, when you get home, call Ronald. It's like confirmation, like that spirit information is right on track with what you're doing and what you're giving and what you're getting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that have something to do with California?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Because you're born on the 7th day of the month, so this would be true of someone born on the 7th or someone born on the 16th day of the month. And depending on people's names and years and months and days and everything, it's all different. But so a July birthday or the 7th day or the 16th day, all those add up to 7. 7 is structure, independent. You like to be alone. You don't like to be told what to do because you like to take responsibility very seriously and you know what needs to be done, even in an emergency when you haven't ever done that thing before. You just intuitively know what needs to be done. It's a number of scientific evidential proof, and it's a number of intuition. And of course, if you Google 7, like what is the importance of the number 7? If you Google that information, or if you go on Wikipedia and type in anything about 7s, 7 is an extremely sacred number in almost every culture. 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 layer salad, the 7 wonders of the world. It goes on and on and on about 7. So 7 is considered to be lucky and fortunate and successful. Being born in February, which is a 2, or being born on the 20th day of the month or the 2nd day of the month or the 11th day of the month, all these 2s. This would indicate you don't like to be alone. You like to have people around you all the time and you work well in partnership. So when I look at your birthday with February 7th, it tells me you love to partner with people and you love to be alone. And I would say, yes, that's both true for you. Both of those things. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the 5s, because you have strong water numbers, like your 7 is a water number, and the year that you're born, this 5, and when I add your birthday together, the second 5, these numbers would indicate to me that balance is, and justice and fairness and equitability and safety are like huge deal breakers for you. So like if somebody brings something to the table that's not entirely honest, and you find out later they left out an important detail, like knowingly, you won't like that very much. Like you like everyone to, you bring goodness to the table, and you expect people to bring goodness to the table. So when they don't, if they show some kind of form of betrayal or dishonesty or lack of integrity, you like vote them off the island.
Yeah, I get cranky. A lot cranky.
And so the 6, which is the name Skeeter. Now, interestingly enough, the name Amy is it spelled A-M-Y?
Yes.
Okay, so with that spelling, it's the value of 1. So the water numbers, 1, 7, 5, and 5, those are all water numbers. Those are the numbers of science, proof, evidence, and intuition, and clarity, and communication, and teaching, and supervising, and leading. So these would be like librarians and scientists and teachers and public speakers and union representatives and managers and people that own companies on their own. Whereas like the 2 would indicate more that you might partner in a company. So I would say that likely, you know how most people, like, they have a job, they have one job and they do that job for 2 years until they, leave and go to a different company. Because of this birthday of yours, I would say you don't have one job. You should be having multiple different sources of income for yourself because you get bored easily and you like a change. So you might sew aprons on, certain days of the week and do readings on certain days of the week and volunteer at hospice certain days of the week, just as an example. And I already do know that you like to sew, but it makes sense with this birthday that you don't do just one thing. Does that make sense for you? And Skeeter's gone. Are you there, James?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Did we lost the Skeetster again, did we?
That's okay. I'm sure she can hear us.
Here she comes. Here she comes. Skeeter. Well, she was coming. I heard her running down the hall. While she's running down the hall, I know she can hear us on the loudspeaker, so I'm going to keep speaking.
So the name Skeeter is the value of 6, which is an air number. And 6 would indicate it's with this specific spelling. So if somebody else is Skeeter with a different spelling, it would change the numerology. But this 6 would indicate compassion, healing, helpfulness, generosity. Like, how can I be of service to other people? Like, very kind and considerate and empathetic, I will say, in general. Does that sound like our Skeeter, Mr. James?
It basically does, yeah. It basically does. What we're going to do as things start coming to a technical head here, if I could get Derek, Layla, and Brad to hang up, and Gail, if you're there, to hang up. And we're going to start, and Christopher, I'm going to hang up on you right now, because we can't get a hold of Skeeter. And we're going to bring Skeeter in, and then everybody else will line up. So I'm not being rude by hanging up on you. It's just who I am right now. And we'll see how it works. We've got quite a lineup here. And no one able to come through. It's quite interesting here. Now, in the Pacific Northwest, we've got about quite a dump of snow. Skeeter, are you here? No, she's in, she's out. I'm wondering if we've got a internet issue in regards to the Pacific Northwest here. Paisley, you're still here, right?
I am still here, Mr. James.
Skeeter, it looks like you're here. And it says Skype is trying to actually get the calls back. Paisley, I'll talk to you soon. Stand by. It is the most interesting group of people I've had on the phone for a long time. Hi, Layla.
Were you supposed to call, or was I supposed to call?
No,
I didn't know.
It doesn't matter. You're here now. Amy, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, do not move.
I'm not moving.
I told you not to move. You moved your lips. I'm going to start adding people to the call just because that's what I want to do. And
hey, James.
Yes?
James. I might like to ask this lady who's doing the numerology for Amy.
Yep.
About, I can give my legal name, and I don't mind. Because I'd like to know which day I was born, because I'm off by one day, so I'm not sure which one it fits me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Paisley, are you here? Okay, hold on. Paisley is not here at this time. Looking for... Where's my man? Bradley. And young Derek... This is kind of funny.
I still would like to talk to Bradley or Derek as well, but I just thought about it
what
when
the
she was
heck?
doing Amy.
No,
what
Gail,
the heck, right? I called you 3 times, right? So I can do that.
Yeah. Gail, are you here?
Paisley's here.
Yeah. Gail, is that you at 778? Or who's at 778?
Amanda.
Amanda, excellent. I'm going to call Derek back here and see if the snow hasn't hit Utah. Actually, he's in Mexico. Shoot. Derek, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hola.
Hola.
Hola, you swine. Okay,
Yes.
Paisley, Amy, Amanda, Derek, keep it going. Skeeter, did you happen to hear your reading?
No, I missed the end.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm just going to go over it again really fast because and we've got somebody else waiting. So, Skeeter,
Well, don't worry about it. Just send me a message later. Let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. So, Derek, did you have a question for myself or Skeeter?
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good. Well, I did have a question. Happy birthday, Skeeter. Slide that in.
Thank you, Derek.
So I've, as James said, I've been out here in Mexico, and I have felt some kind of shift going on, like within myself. I'm not exactly sure what's getting turned on, but I'm feeling like some things are. And I have also felt like this strange sensation of like these waves coming in, and I don't know where they're coming from, like space or something, but when they come in, like it feels like all of a sudden I'm like underwater, and there's like these ripplings across my whole body and everything, and then it goes away, and it's really strange. So I'm wondering if there's anything you can see that's going on with me.
Actually, you're like the third person to tell me that they've been having those effects. And the other two people are also psychics that I know and network with.
Mm-hmm.
So the shift has begun. There's definitely a lot of energy moving right now. You are one of the people that are part of the shift. Me and you have talked about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're definitely going to be feeling those rippling effects as things are now going into play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not here with where I have internet connection, and I've, felt these things, and that's when I logged online and, went to ask a group that question, and that's when I found that there's some kind of energetic stuff coming in, and that's like really when it hit me like, okay, I'm being turned on to something.
Yeah. And what it is, I myself had an insane encounter in California. There is definitely something up. I'm waiting for further download myself. The individual who got a hold of me put their fingers to their lips and went shh, as if I'm supposed to keep it all a big secret, but there is a definite shift in the energy. If you're awakened, you're going to be feeling it even more. You're going to be feeling nauseous. You're going to be having headaches. You're going to feel like somebody's got their bass playing too loud, but you're feeling the boom, boom, boom coming at you. You're going to feel ripple effects. So there's a lot of energy shifting and moving as the political, social, financial world around us is massively changing at a rapid rate. And also celestially, there's a lot of activity going on. I think we just had something fly by the Earth recently that left some energy trails. And there's just tons of stuff. My guide said just get ready to rumble. I'm hearing the old WWE "Are you ready to rumble?" type of effect.
So great, and I'm sure that tons of us are ready for it. Is there a reason why bees might be tied into this? Because I'm in Mexico, I don't really see any bees, but they've been like flying in windows at me and just all around me.
You got to realize bees serve as a pulse for the Earth itself.
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic energy for letting us know the health of the Earth around us, for letting us know our own health. If there's no bees, there's no us. A lot of things die when they die.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're connecting to you, the fact that they're trying to let you know, acknowledge them, tell them thank you for contacting me, and know that they're telling you to pay attention to the pulse of the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to that pulse. Pay attention to the energy coming through right now, because it's going to be shifting even more rapidly, and you're going to have to be able to ride it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to say, you got to ride them waves, hop on the board, and surf it out. So,
and I've
hold
felt
on.
That's great. Thank you so much, Skeeter.
Oh, you're welcome, hon. And you can reach out to me for more information if you need.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we'll talk offline. But I wanted to get in there and chat with you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Take care, hon.
You too.
Very cool. That I like hearing from Derek, and I'm jealous that he's in Mexico. The weasel. Who else do we have here? Let me look on the great board of things that are bored. We have Layla. Let's try you. Go ahead.
Okay. Are we doing the numerology thing first, the birthday, to make sure which one it is?
You can do whatever you like. We have Paisley Town, numerologist. We have Skeeter, who can drill into the back of your head and... No, hold on. That's not what she does. But you've got them both.
Black and Decker.
I'm going to let you take it. Do what you wish.
Okay. Well, let's do the numerology first. Okay. So I'm not sure if my birthday is November 14, 1966 or November 15, 1966.
Okay, and what do you have on your birth records, Layla?
Well, what I have, it was my father's journal, and he had written 14. And then he crossed it, and he didn't cross the whole thing. He just crossed the 4 and changed it to 5. And when I asked my mother about that, and she said, I don't remember, but I think it's because you were born after in the evening, so he just put it for the next day. So I have no answer. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Okay, and what's your birth name?
It's A-L-N as in Mary, A-S as in sunshine, Almaz.
Okay. So I might be able to tell by these two birthdays what your personality is like. So my question for you is, do you see things... so one of the birthdays is water and fire, which tells me that your personality would be black and white, right and wrong, go, 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 or extremely lazy. And the other personality type would be more gentle, more compassionate, more open-hearted. What do you do for a living? Can you just give me an example without telling me a bunch of details? Like, just give me one word.
Okay, well, right now I'm not working because I'm having health issues. But my favorite job, it was when I was a flight attendant.
Okay, so I would say November 15th is a better fit for you because that's people that are being of service to others. So 15 is the energy of 6, which is exactly the same energy as Skeeter's name. The nickname Skeeter is a 6 also, so this will hopefully resonate with you too, Skeeter. So flight attendants are, how can I be of service to you? What more can I do for you? Can I get you anything? Do you need anything? Very often people with 6 energy will be in the service industries, or they'll be in counseling, or they'll be in customer service, or they'll be waitresses or hostesses, or that kind of thing where you're in service to other people.
Would that include banking as well? Because I've also worked in banking.
Yeah, these numbers don't tell me where you would work, except that, so if someone's born on the 14th of November, this is a 5, and 5 energy is usually someone who works with balance or justice or balancing numbers or communication of numbers or administration of numbers. It's to do with languages and numbers and communication, and very often working in a very quiet administrative environment. So that would be the 5. So that would be November 14th. And the flight attendant would be November 15th. So you probably carry energy of both of the birthdays because you've been told they're both correct, or you haven't had confirmation. And so the birth name and the name Layla, when you spell Layla, is it Layla?
Yes.
Okay, so your birth name and the name Layla both have the energy of 2, exactly the same. So you chose a perfect nickname, or someone chose a perfect nickname for you that matches very similarly to your birth name. And these two numbers, indicate, like what I was speaking to Scooter about her February earlier, about teamwork, partnership, working together, multitasker, gets bored easily, shouldn't do one career, should do multiple careers. Now, interestingly enough, if you think of flight attendant, that job in itself is multiple careers, because you're doing customer service, you're doing healthcare, you're doing management, you're doing organizing, you're doing cooking, you're doing like you're doing many things in that one job. Yeah. And I mean, there's lots of careers out there where you do more than one thing for your job. Like if you're a receptionist, you don't just receive people, you answer phones and do other things. But that hostess type of a position where you do everything for everybody, that's usually would indicate like November 15th birthday, more so than the 14th.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because one time, a long time ago, I did like astrology chart, and they said, "Oh, your birthday is the 14th because the moon was in Sagittarius. If you like to travel, if you like to meet people, and you're outgoing, then that will be 14. If it was 15, then your moon be Capricorn, and you don't seem like a Capricorn." And so I was really confused. But I see your point now. I see like the traveling part, or because 14th wouldn't be more like outgoing and traveling. It would be kind of changing all the time, or more administrative, like sitting in one, not dealing with much people. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So the energy, the energy of the 6 usually adores nature. Quite often, if it's a 6 in a male, it will be like sports oriented, or someone who works with their hands with metal or wood, or someone who invents things. And usually if it's a woman, it's more customer servicey, kind of like counselor, healer, energy worker, could be landscaper, flower arranging, interior design, healthcare, like being of service, but like providing something beautiful that, helps pain. If that makes sense, or reduces stress, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And so that the 6, which is the 15th, you're saying that it fits me more because if I'm more, I want to be around more people. I can't say which one fits you more, but I can say if the 14th is your like legal birthday when you were definitely born, your personality would be very black and white, right and wrong. No compromise, and you may have trouble making decisions about like jobs or things on a menu or choosing a paint color. Like you might have trouble making decisions. Does that come up for you? Yeah, actually, yeah. I do have a hard time sometimes making decisions, but then I'm also like I don't have a gray area. I go, it's either right or wrong kind of thing. I am flexible, but in some things, I go either black or white. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. So I would say we don't need to determine what your correct birthday is tonight on the air, but both of the birthdays seem to be a good fit for you because if somebody was told that their name was Amy when they're born, and they go by the name anything JoJo or something completely different. Like both of those things will carry some energy. So I think both of your birthdays do carry some of your energy. Does that make sense for you? Cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a question for Skeeter?
Well, as far as the birthday, 11/14/66, what number does that add up altogether?
If it's 14, it adds up to 2, and if it's 15, it adds up to 3.
Okay. So if it's a 2, it's kind of like sometimes you're having challenging, like have challenges in life.
It means that you enjoy challenges and that you must be challenged in your work. So it means that if you do accounting 10 hours a day, and just filing papers all day and work in a library in a quiet environment, that's not ideal for you because because of the name being a fire number and the 2, and because of the month being a fire number, the 2, and because of the year being a fire number, the 4, and when you add up the November 14th birthday being a 2, that's fire, 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 and the 14 is the water. It's a 5. And so with that much fire, I would say you should do work that's extremely challenging, where you get to solve puzzles or you get to find solutions for things. Otherwise, you'll be bored and you'll quit those kind of jobs.
Yeah, I do get bored. Yeah, exactly. I do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now my other question is about my health problem. I'm having quite a few health problems, and just recently on Friday, I kind of been really sick over it because I kind of went to a kind of sort of halt, basically. I don't know what to do now. So I'm hoping, I had 2 leg problems and 2 ankle injuries, and the doctor I went to Friday didn't even have an answer, didn't even know what's going on. So I'm kind of lost. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to approach this anymore.
The first couple of things that jumped up at me was 1, stop stressing and stop fighting the current. That's the first thing. As your health, stop stressing and stop fighting the current. That's the first half.
What is fighting the current means? I'm sorry.
Fighting the current is a term used when you are so busy trying to keep doing what you're doing that you're going against the energy. You're going against where you're supposed to be going.
Okay.
And it's a sign of stubbornness.
Okay.
The other half is, this is something that I actually just recently learned, and it's really kind of cool that it's coming up now. Ankle and knee injuries usually show a resistance between bringing the mental into the physical. You've got a lot of really great ideas and a lot of willpower and a lot of desire and a lot of drive, and you know where you want to be and you know where you're supposed to be, but it's just not coming to fruit. You're just a hamster in a wheel. You're going, and a lot of what's holding on right now is stress. It's your own mind that is working against you right now. And what's really amazing is that whatever's going on in our minds plays out in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep is not one of your best things right now. And I would highly recommend working on finding ways to calm your mind enough to get some sleep, to get genuine rest. Focus not so much on fighting for what you think you should be doing, but start peeling away the layers to the things that you actually should be doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I've just been having quite a bit of, 2016 I had to go unexpectedly through a major surgery. And I had to remove an organ. I had to go through blood infusions before I even get an organ to be removed. It was very challenging. It was very very emotional. It was extremely emotional. And
have you allowed yourself to heal since then?
I'm sorry?
Have you allowed yourself to heal since then?
Yeah, I am. Immediately after the hospital, I made sure to put everything on hold just to get all the rest because the recovery was 2 to 3 months recovery. So I made sure. Yes, I did.
And did you mentally recover?
I'm still recovering because I had some setbacks after the 3 months. I still had problems in the inside incisions, and the outside incisions, they're healing slowly. So it was, everything else had to be put on hold, my other health conditions. It's just one health condition happened, the other one happened. I've only been in California 2 years, and as soon as I came, it was one health condition after another, and they just lined up really quickly. I didn't know which one to focus on right away, and so I started taking it one at a time. I still haven't even paid attention to thyroid problem because I had biopsy done. They found some things. They did the testing on it. One facility said one thing, the other doctor said something. So now I have to go through all that all over again because now it's got behind. It's old, so I have to do it again.
I hate to interrupt you because I don't want you to give up too information. It is public radio. Okay. But also, one, I did want to be a doctor as a kid, but unfortunately I'm not a doctor. What I can do is I can tell you what the spirit is telling me to tell you. And that is you really need to slow down and take care of yourself. Your brain is going so fast. You're not actually taking time to recover from each event as it happens. Mm-hmm. You've got a lot on plate, and you really do need to sit down with a good group of doctors and need to find out what is medically going on. And you need to approach all of these problems, all of these issues at once. Just because you don't think this should be addressed yet doesn't mean it shouldn't be addressed now. You really need to address everything at once. And you need to give yourself permission to mentally take it all in, digest it, and work through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's your voice is going in and out. I don't know which it's my end or your end, but so you're saying like sit down with a doctor and
a group of doctors and go over all the issues. Don't pick and choose all the issues because if they don't have all the information, they can't treat the whole you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It really does. It is stressful. Excellent. It's very, very stressful.
Oh, it would be. Stress is not going to help you heal quicker either, because stress is a whole other. It's another ailment, and you have to take care of that. Whether it's going to talk it out with doctors that deal with stress, which would be the best thing. And then from there, you can get into meditation or just work on getting your stress level down. Stress is the loss of control or the perceived loss of control of a situation. They have to get you back in control of what's going on. So obviously what they've been doing, you're still not sure exactly what has happened and what's going to happen. You've got to get them to articulate that to you, or at least get them to tell you what's going on and what's going to happen in a way that you can fully understand it, therefore grasping control back of the situation. And as soon as you do that, your stress level is going to drop. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just been challenging because of how we all know how the insurance is.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
And that's why I'm taking it one thing at a time. So.
Yes, it is. One thing at a time, for sure. For sure. We have a couple of people behind you. About 6. So that's good. I want you to, Joanna's back in 2 weeks, 2 Sundays from now. So if you want to update, or I'd like an update if you wouldn't mind calling back.
Okay.
All righty.
I will do that.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
Very welcome.
Thank you, Peter. Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. It was good to have a nice visit. We're going to kind of bounce through a few things. We're coming up to the 7-minute break in about, what are we here? 5 minutes. But I'm going to start off. Leanne, are you there? And I can hear her running over to the phone across the room. Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. Skeeter.
There we go.
This is Leanne. Leanne, this is Skeeter.
Hi. Hi, Skeeter. How are you?
We're going to, Leanne, we may end up having to pause partway through your reading, but we're just going to go. And
that's fine.
Skeeter, I had to talk to Leanne off air here. She was just kind of looking for a general reading to see what comes through and get a little bit of guidance.
Well, the first thing jumping through is stop worrying.
Okay.
You're not at a dead end. I don't know what that means exactly. I hope it means something to you. But they're telling me to tell you it's not a dead end. You do have options. No, they're not completely visible right now, but it's because you're too focused on what's coming and whether it's coming to an end or not, rather than focusing on what's available. I hope this makes sense.
Yeah, it can, yeah. And in terms of other options?
I'm asking them for some details. One of the options that they're bringing up is a relationship option. More of a friendship and connection. Kind of like a good person to have in your collection to hook you up with other people.
Nice.
This is someone that you've kind of kept on the outside, and they're playing more in your life a little bit more and more right now, and you need to go ahead and, despite their oddness, let them into your circle. And I hope that helps identify the person.
Yeah, okay.
Also, are you looking to switch directions as far as what you're doing with your life? Like switching jobs, careers? I don't want you to be too specific, but just kind of like a general yes or no.
Career, no. Relationship, sure. But this actually isn't about either one of those two things. But if it's coming up, it's coming up, and that's fine. More about a devastation that occurred last July, and just wondering about the outcome that should hopefully follow.
Okay.
Is that too much information? I don't know.
No, that's fine. Just don't give me any more. I'm actually going to pull out the cards real quick because they're going to give me a little bit more. So please apologize. I apologize in advance for the quick weird noise.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the other things that is coming up is to get out of your head. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but what they're telling me, I'm really asking this guy to step forward. He's not one of mine, and I think he's kind of tied to you, but he's being really cautious. And it's very unique because he looks at you as if you're a very delicate little girl. He says she's always been so fragile, and so delicate, and if I could only hold her one more time and tell her it's okay, I wish I could do that. Because when I left her when she was still too fragile. And he's really wishing that he could tell you how strong you've become since then.
I'm going to step in here really quick, and we're going to get everybody to have the 7-minute break, and we'll come back with more Two Mediums and a Large after this.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott, and I would like to invite you to listen Monday through Friday right here on Spaced Out Radio. 3 hours a night of the top stories with the top guests, ranging topics from UFOs to ETs, ghosts to Sasquatch, and everything in between. We are live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. So come on in and take a listen at spacedoutradio.com. Spaced Out Radio will take you out of this world.
Hi there, this is your psychic medium Joanna, and I would love it if you would join us every other Sunday on Spaced Out Weekend. With host James Tyson, we'll bring you personal psychic messages on Two Mediums and a Large. Questions about love, life, career changes. We would love it if you would come and join us live. Call in and listen in for the experience. Allow us to open the doors to your other side. Two Mediums and a Large, heard only on Spaced Out Weekend at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for news beyond the mainstream news? Head to spacedoutradio.com and check out the SOR Spacewire. This is Spaced Out Radio's Eric Markham, News Director for the SOR Spacewire. Daily, I will bring you intriguing stories and outlandish reports from what's going on around the world. UFO sightings, paranormal activity, conspiracies, alternative health, and so much more. And if you have news, email me at news@spacedoutradio.com.
Attention Spaced Out Radio listeners. For only $5 a month, you can join Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers. Your membership at spacedoutradio.com will give you access to private fan area on the website, get you a monthly newsletter, draws for monthly swag, and a whole lot more. Sign up today to become a part of the Spaced Out Radio experience.
Strange creatures lurking in the night, the sounds of wood knocking in the forest, odd happenings right out of a fictional world. These are the reports I love. Hi there, this is author Ronald Murphy, and I would love it if you join me and Spaced Out Radio host Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month on our journey into the unknown land of cryptozoology at spacedoutradio.com. From Mothman to Frogman and everything in between. Hey, they don't call me the crypto guru for nothing.
Greetings and salutations, space travelers, from the Chronicles of the Unknown team.
What is Chronicles of the Unknown? I keep hearing about this thing.
It's a new paranormal reality TV show based right here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Follow our team as we uncover claims of activity on the Caribou Gold Rush Trail. You can also follow us here every third Monday, where 2 members of our team will be available to answer your questions. We'll give you some equipment updates and some of our experiences on the road, right here on Spaced Out Radio.
For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Find yourself constantly looking up in the sky, looking for answers? Have you had extraterrestrial contact? Are you an abductee? Looking for answers to your experiences? Hi there, I'm R. Keith Andrews, Spaced Out Radio's resident ET expert. Join me live the first Friday of every month where I take questions from the Spaced Out Radio chat room and help you understand those from the far-off world. It's 2 hours of knowledge every experiencer should listen to. Hope to see you there.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm here to bring you the Webster Phenomena every Saturday night, live at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for aliens and extraterrestrials, well, we've got them. Big and tall, short and small. You're bound to find what you're looking for, so join me on the Webster Phenomena right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Hi there, this is Jolene with Reveal Reiki and Readings, and I want you to relax. Let me help you chill out and get in touch with your body, mind, and soul. In this busy world, sometimes we need to let go, and this is where I can help. Visit my website, rivuletrr.wix.com/Rivulet R&R, or my Facebook page, Rivulet R&R, to set up an appointment for relaxation, Reiki, or readings, no matter where you are. It's time for you to make time for you.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Every month on Spaced Out Radio, we look into the deep and dark reports of cryptids roaming around the world with me, Rob Morphy from Cryptopia.us. I would love it if you would join me and host Dave Scott as we delve into the most arcane stories and reports regarding creatures of the unknown. My job is to hunt down the details and bring the evidence forward to you. These aren't your regular Bigfoot stories I'm talking about either. You can find out more about crypto history at spacedoutradio.com.
Tonight's edition of Spaced Out Weekend is brought to you by spacedoutradio.com, where you can now sign up to become a Space Traveler member. Now, for the final time tonight, here's Spaced Out Weekend's James Tyson.
Welcome back, everybody. We are with two mediums and a large here on this lovely snowy night in my little log cabin on the 13th floor of the Spaced Out Radio Network here in the paranormal portals of Cascadia up in the Pacific Northwest. And if you would like to become a SOR Space Traveler and join the club, it's a donation via PayPal. And with that, your name gets entered into a monthly prize draw, access to private group interviews, access to special section on our website, and much more. And like my daughter always says, it's cheaper than that daily half-cap foamed Ariana Grande with cinnamon. And while you're at our site, spacedoutradio.com, you can read the latest blogs and check out Eric Markham's SOR Space Wire for your latest and weird news. We also have that feature, the SOR Sightlines. It's there for you. If you've had an experience, with something that goes bump in the night or flew over your house and followed you home, just fill out the forms. Our researcher, Mike Schmidt, will look it up and get back to you, and we'll investigate it. We have connections all over the planet to help you out with that. All information is 100% guaranteed confidential. And we're back with Skeeter and Leanne. We're just going to go touch base really quickly with them on the life path. There was an issue that came up in our guest path, and we're seeing if that was planned or if it's something that she kind of fell into. It's interesting, and we're not going to get into it, but it's I want to see for our guest what exactly is in store for now. Go ahead, you two.
Well, it was planned. That was an answer I got immediately.
Planned by me or planned by the other person? Like in my history or in theirs?
I'm getting soul family.
Okay, so would this be like the Akashic Records kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was the incident? What is that? Where did we go from now?
Honestly, the information I'm getting is very not this. It's almost like they do not want me to talk about it. They're giving me everything but that.
Okay.
In fact, I even
Sounds
pulled
about
out my
right now.
cards. The cards that I pulled, they were wanting to talk more about your personal life, your work. The cards that followed up behind that are talking about overlapping worlds that, out of all honesty, you're caught in between worlds right now.
Oh, that sounds cool. Or right.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And
I don't know what that means, but okay. That's great. But yeah, it feels right, but I don't know what it means.
The image that is on the card, and I find it really interesting, is that there's several energy loops. And each energy loop is pulling away from you. It's kind of like you're here, but you're not here. And you're actually you're not part of this world anymore. You're just here.
Okay. Interesting. Like dead here or alive here? Which way are we going?
I'm not sure.
Oh. Okay.
The card that came with it was Sacred Haven. And it's just asking you to stand still. It's this beautiful image. It's almost like going into what people call the blue room or the waiting room. It's where you get to see a glimpse of what's coming. I apologize, but it almost as if you actually had a near-death experience and you were allowed to come back. And it's not so much as it was near death as it was something beyond death. And you're now being asked to stand still and just absorb the information in. Because your brain has not been allowed to heal or catch up yet. And
yeah.
You actually came out of this with some new skills, some new gifts. And you need to sit down and recognize them.
Is that
yeah, I think that's probably true.
Is that that part of her awakening?
Yeah. It's part of her challenge and part of her awakening.
Yeah, the challenge is going to continue, and it involves a whole bunch of people that our guest doesn't have control over, and that is frustrating. Is there any good news about that?
Solitude and grounding. Stop making yourself available.
Okay. Well, they're still working on it, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. You still meditating?
Yes.
Good.
Very much so.
Good.
Yeah.
Can I ask an obscure question?
Go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
This incident. When you went to where you went, did you see something that wasn't human?
I don't know how to answer that because I was drugged, so I don't know.
Yeah, we can't go there.
We can't go there.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to back
Yeah,
away
I don't have
because
to
that's what I'm being told to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd
that's a
love
good
to
one.
hear about that later, maybe some other time, some other
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah. Maybe.
Feel free to hit me up at bluemoonweaver.com or bluemoonweaver@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That would be good.
Thank you very much for your time. I really
All right.
appreciate that.
Sleep
Blue
well,
Moon
kid.
Weaver. Thank you. Take
Yeah.
care, everyone. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
I'll get you the links.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right. Who do we have next? Bradley? Are you doing all the heavy breathing?
That's probably that probably is me.
Or it's you or Eric sleeping. So go ahead. Okay, who keeps stepping on their phone?
Not me.
Okay. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back on. There's a lot going on for me right now. I recently was doing a group meditation, and clear as day had my guide speak to me almost as if it was my own thoughts. And so what I heard earlier on the show was, completely dead on. And so I'm trying to start a community service project, and I know that being of service to others has really aided me on my ascension path, and I've felt a lot of heavy energies lately, and in the next few months here, I'm not sure which direction to go, whether or not this new community service project is going to be successful, or I'm also trying to work towards my Reiki certification. So I'm sorry, I'm just not sure what to ask. I don't have a dead question to ask. So,
all right, Brad, you're fired.
Right?
Is there anything coming through for Brad? Any information at all, Skeeter?
Give me a minute. Paisley, do you have something that you can offer him?
So Bradley, was your question to do with career direction?
Well, actually, yes, I do have the opportunity to relocate in the future here, and
Okay, don't tell us any information. What's your birthday, Bradley?
November 4th, 1988.
Okay. I'm just doing the numbers really quickly here because I needed that information. 17.
That's
yeah,
good.
So right away I can see by your birthday, November 4th, 88, that decision making would be tricky for you. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And is it because I want to say it is. It's because you are doubting yourself. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I can tell you this because is Bradley your birth name?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the name Bradley is a 6. Your birthday numbers are 2, 4, 8, which add up to 5. And so this information shows me that there is no incorrect choice for you. So for example, let's say you were out of work and you had 2 options. One would be to move to the Yukon up north and do work up there, and the other one would be to move to Mexico. And one was a job that you loved that was low paying, and the other one was a high paying job that you hated. It doesn't matter which choice you choose with this birthday, because regardless of the choice, you can make it work. Okay. It must be challenging. It must be someone who's not micromanaging you. So they must pretty much go for you. Here's the paycheck. Here's the job. See you later. If someone tells you how to do your work, that doesn't work well for you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it must be of service to either the planet or to other people, the work that you do. It must, for example, I wouldn't say go take a job in a plastics factory for you. It has to be something that is of service to people, that makes a difference, that that provides either healing or customer service to people, like, or provides a product that's going to help other people, and you can see the big picture in that? Does that make sense for you?
Oh, totally. Absolutely it does.
So what happens with your birthday, because you have water energy and fire energy, is you doubt yourself and you question yourself. And I would say when things are balanced for you in all areas of your life, decision making is quite easy. It's when things are not, when there's one or two things that aren't quite, fitting into the puzzle, then you doubt yourself and you question yourself, and you might choose A, and if it doesn't work, you might think, oh my gosh, I chose the wrong answer, I better choose Z. so you kind of teeter-totter back and forth a little bit with your decision making, and it's like you're in your head, which means you're in the future. And I'm going to invite you to get out of your head and come into your heart and come into your body. Stay in your body, don't be in your head so much. Get grounded and trust yourself.
Okay.
Does that make sense for you as far as this job offer?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And you're quite intuitive yourself, and then you sabotage yourself sometimes.
Yes, that's very true.
So, yeah, so that's something to think about for you. How does that sound for now?
That sounds good. It's all really accurate, and I think I'll just go with my gut, and then ultimately, whatever happens, it's gonna work out, right?
Absolutely. This birthday has the resilience and the motivation and the energy to do what needs to get done. But I would highly recommend. Do you do any cardio, Bradley?
Well, I do yoga quite a bit.
Okay. Do you do any cardio where you're moving quickly and getting your heart rate really up a lot?
Not so much anymore, to be honest.
Okay. Did you notice when you used to do cardio that your personality was quite a bit different than it is now? Do you suffer from lack of motivation now? Let me ask you that. Do you get lazy? Do you get stuck? Do you procrastinate? Do you have a hard time making decisions? Because you're oh, I don't know what to do.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so cardio would benefit you because of your birthday, not for fitness, not for health. I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't tell you should do cardio, but I would say if you chose to do cardio with this birthday and your doctor said it was okay for you to do it, I would say even do it when you're on vacation. Absolutely incorporate cardio into your life, into your plan, into your routine, because it will pull you forward more quickly.
Okay.
If you want to do yoga, keep doing yoga, but don't do yoga without cardio. Seriously, I wouldn't even go there.
Okay.
Yoga, you don't, I almost want to say, you could meditate by lifting weights.
Yeah.
You could meditate by running. You could meditate by swimming. You don't need yoga to slow down to meditate. You can meditate quickly.
Yeah, it is pretty easy for me to reach a meditative state now.
Mm-hmm. You could do it with Black Sabbath playing in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Skeeter, did you have something you'd like to add, or?
No, you nailed it pretty good. Thank you.
Did you have another question, Brad? Thanks, Skeeter.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I'm just trying to think for a minute. Yeah, you really you nailed it. I guess you answered it all. Thank you so much.
Well, here's the thing. The way that you process things, you pick up things really fast, and then boom, you're off into the future with them. So sit with the information that I gave you and maybe play it back again later. Okay. Listen to the show again later and play it back. And it'll make a lot more sense to you later, but I would say tomorrow, go do cardio. If you can possibly do cardio, even if you're sitting in a chair doing cardio, like there's going to be some benefit to you that's going to propel you forward into your future.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad.
No, thank you. I really appreciate you guys.
And I enjoyed your other reading that Elizabeth did too. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great, actually.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. As we're coming up the last half hour, we still have 5 or 6 people to go, so we're going to have to bam through these things pretty quick. Skeeter and Paisley. And I'm looking at my list here of who's next. It's a 289 area code. Who's at the 289 area code?
That's me.
Hello, me. What's your name?
Tabitha.
Tabitha, where are you calling from?
I'm from Ontario, but I'm in Alberta, Jasper, right now.
Oh, good for you. Snowed in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Tab, who would you like to talk to? You want a numerology, or you want to talk to Skeeter about that thing that hides in your closet?
What?
No, I'm just made that up. Sorry. What? Would you like a numerology reading and a psychic reading, or both? Or I guess that would be both.
Please.
Both? Okay. Okay, Tab, give your date of birth and the spelling of your given one to young Paisley Town.
November 20th, 1991.
Oh my gosh, all fire today. Isn't that funny?
Crazy.
Okay, so this is a pretty interesting birthday. Did you have a question for me, Tabitha?
I was just wondering, like, what's around me, like, what I should be aware of, kind of like what steps I could go to. I don't know, everything's kind of spinning around me. I don't know what direction to take.
Okay, so the last caller that I was talking to about doing cardio and being in the head, that would definitely pertain to you. Are you involved in something right now? I want to say you are, where you're needing support from someone and they're not around you?
Maybe.
You're not sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, your best scenario is to always have somebody who's got your back at all times. Doesn't matter if you're sleeping, working, socializing, like you're better to partner with people at all times.
Okay.
So if you're in a position where you're feeling a lack of support, find out where your team is and go find them.
Yeah.
Or get them to follow you, because you do well when you're supported by other people. They don't have to do much to support you, but they have to be around you, if that makes sense. Like, so for example, let's say you were in a big house, by yourself. You do better when you're in a big house by yourself in a room doing something, and someone else is in a different part of the house having a nap. Like, you do better when people are around you. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? Teamwork and partnership works very well for you. Do you have a decision you're about to make?
I think so. I don't know. I just don't know what. I feel like I'm being pulled somewhere, and I don't know where I'm being pulled. That would be the best way to.
Okay. Are you doing self-care?
Like meditating and stuff?
No. Are you getting enough sleep and taking care of yourself and getting in nature and eating the right kind of foods for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you able to like get out in nature like on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you work in nature, or is that your hobby?
No. Well, where I am right now, there's a lot of nature. It's like surrounded by mountains. So even just walking outside, it's like nature.
Okay.
But where I'm working, no, I'm working inside, housekeeping.
Okay. That's a good job for you in some ways, because it keeps you busy and it keeps your mind slowed. because you can go off on tangents sometimes. But for you to be working indoors, do you also have another job? Because for you to be working indoors like that is not an ideal situation for you.
No, I don't have another job.
Okay. Do you find housekeeping challenging enough for you?
Not mentally, but physically, oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's important for you to be challenged. If you're doing physical work, that makes sense. If you're getting your cardio in at work, right? So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything specific that's coming to me from Spirit, but I'm going to ask Skeeter if she'd like to add something.
The one thing I would like to add is don't let your self-doubt get in the way of your dreams. That was the message that was coming through as Paisley was reading. That you have some really amazing dreams and some plans that you'd like to actually kind of work towards. But you have a really bad habit of talking yourself out of it. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
Start talking more positively to yourself.
Okay.
When you sit and you have one of these ideas, don't think of all the ways not to do it. Think of one way or maybe two ways to actually start working towards it.
Yeah.
Just remember, impossible is I am possible.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit longer. So take the time and realize you're actually a very intelligent individual. Very resourceful. I mean, honestly, if we were trapped out in the woods, I'd want you on my team because you'd be the person to figure out those little small details on how to get back to where we needed to be. You've got a really good natural intuition. You need to start using it for yourself and trusting yourself more. So as you move forward, rely on that. And stop talking yourself out of stuff. Start talking yourself in, okay?
Yeah.
True. Tabitha, whereabouts, what city were you born in?
I was born in Burlington.
Okay. And now, are you just working in Alberta then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And kind of like exploring it.
Good. And interesting. And remember the elk that have the collars? You tell the tourists those are the ones you could ride.
They roam around everywhere.
And you tell them to go to the ranger's office by the little square there, and you say, I heard we can ride the elk with the collars. And just tell, if they ever ask you why do some elk have collars and some don't, you just tell them the ones with the collars you can ride, and you go to the rangers and they'll set it up. It's hilarious when they do that. Yeah. I know we're not supposed to pick on the Americans, but what the heck, we always do. I love Jasper. It's I used to live down the road from there, and I used to actually we'd have courses out in that area. Thanks very much. Did they answer those things for you that you thought they would answer? They being Paisley and.
Yeah, they definitely helped.
Okay, if something you take away from it, remember this: if you didn't write this stuff down, it's also going to be on YouTube and iTunes later, so you can always fast forward and find out what happened. Sound good?
Okay.
All right, killer. Okay. Thanks for waiting so long. I know we've had a long, we've got 29 minutes left here, and we've got to bounce off a few here more. Thanks, Tabitha.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Eric, how the dickens are you?
I'm great. How you doing, James?
Great. Was that your question? Good. Let's move on. We've got... oh, sorry. Yeah. Hi, Eric. We've got Skeeter and Paisley. And ladies, This is Eric.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
And Eric's phoning from Los Angeles area, I think?
Yep, that is correct.
Good. And who would you like to talk to? Both or just one of them?
Both would be cool.
No. Yeah, go ahead. give Paisley your given one and your DOB. Your DOB and given one.
Okay, my DOB is 21486.
Okay.
What's the other one?
Did you have a question, Eric?
No, I'd rather just see what you guys have to say. I mean, I can get specific if you want, but
okay. Skeeter, did you want to go first while I run the numbers, or?
Honestly, I'm not picking up anything offhand.
Okay, so I can speak to this. That's okay. So Eric, you and I spoke before. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's been a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, and I just wanted to ask you regarding your family member that we spoke about last time, which was many months ago. Did things get more resolved there?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, it's always like kind of an ongoing thing that isn't like 100% great, but it's definitely better than last time for sure.
Right. Are you okay to talk about this right now?
Sure.
Okay. Did you have a question about that situation?
No, not in particular. I mean, the question I was going to ask you is more just about myself and figuring out how to handle all the things I'm got going on. I just have so many different things happening, and I'm super busy. And
yeah, it's a perfect question for you because the name Eric is a 5, and being born on the 14th of November, which is a birthday that we talked about earlier with Layla. That birthday is a 5, so it's all about balancing act. And here's the thing. If everything was balanced, you probably would throw a monkey wrench into it to make it imbalanced so you could practice balancing it again. It's just like balance is such an important attribute to you that even though you might talk about it like, oh my gosh, there's so much I have to do and I have to get things done and I'm so busy, even though we might talk about it that way, like balancing things for you brings you a lot of reward. So it's good that you're busy.
yeah, I just feel like I can't get the balance though. Like I'm putting off things that I think are important, but it's like I have other things I have to do, and I guess I don't know what is like really should be the priority, you know?
Okay. Are you doing too many things for other people around you right now? And not doing your things?
No, not really. I mean, I'm not doing all my things, but it's not because I'm doing stuff for other people.
Okay. So, like, with this birthday, I would say, like, self-care is a huge focus. So, for example, if there was, let's say, a family member around you from out of town that was staying on your couch, for an example, you might want to make sure that all their needs are met and they have everything taken care of for themselves, and then you forget to eat. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like self-care for you is really important with this birthday. It's like once your gas tank is full, once you have all of your needs met, you'll be able to easily help other people. But sometimes your focus is helping other people and meeting their needs and not helping yourself.
Okay.
Meeting their needs while you're being drained.
Okay.
So I would say sometimes you are not super clear on what your needs are, and you are always clear on what you don't need.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so if we know what we don't want and we're not sure what we want, how can we focus on what we want and get what we want? if our focus is on what we don't want. So I would say for you, right. as soon as you say, okay, well, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. As soon as you can identify those things, create a list of all the don't wants that are there and transfer that list into the positive.
Okay.
So like what I'm hearing you say in your question, which isn't, it's kind of a general question, but you're like, I don't want to be so busy right now. So what you do want is you want to create space for other things that you enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to focus on creating space, not focus on how busy you are.
Okay. I gotcha.
Okay. I feel like you already know this. Like, I'm not telling you anything new. You know this already.
I know it, but I can't seem to do it,
You can't
like
seem to do it
is
yet.
Harder than...
Yes, of course. And that's about finding balance. And the more you honor yourself and what your needs are and meeting your own needs, then you'll have more energy to quickly get the other things done that you need to do, and you'll have more time.
Okay.
Because you won't be so drained.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I'm drained like all the time because I'm constantly doing so much stuff. And a lot of it is stuff I don't want to do.
Well, if we're going to live unless we're going to go live in the mountains with the bears in a log cabin and be self-sustaining, all of us are going to have to do things we don't want to do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's okay. And it's manageable as long as you're getting some of your needs met. And I want to say, like, right now it feels like you're not getting your needs met. And if I even said to you, tell me your top 10 needs right now, just tell me, and it's a hypothetical question because we don't have time on the air, but if I said, tell me the top 10 things that you need right now, you'd be like, you wouldn't be able to just list them off to me right away. So focus on that. Start there. Start like, what are my top 10 needs that need to be met right now? Write them down and then figure out how you're going to do them. And then do them.
Okay.
Yeah. Just start with 10.
Well, let me ask you a specific thing. Is one thing that I always put off is doing artwork, and I'm an artist, and like that's just I hardly do any anymore because that always is the thing that like I can put off because I got to do other stuff, and I feel guilty about that because that's like the thing I'm best at, but I just have so many other things I'm doing, and that's one that's easy to put off. And I'm like not sure if I should just be okay with that and be like, yeah, maybe I don't do art for a little bit while I'm handling all this other stuff. No. Or if I should like figure out a way to do it.
Figure out a way to do it. Create a space to do it. Even if you can, for example, can you work on a piece of art in a short period of time?
No.
Like in a half an hour or something?
I can't really. I mean, some people probably can, but I've never been good at that.
Okay, so grab your calendar for the month and figure out when you're going to do your art. Like mark off, okay, that afternoon I'm doing art. Or that morning I'm going to cancel the meeting and I'm going to do my art. Like people can wait. If you're doing your art, then your gas tank is full. That's your self-care. That's your nourishment. That's your food. Your art is your food. And if you're not doing your art, then you're starving and you're drained and you're low energy. And you'll be able to get less done if you're not doing your art.
Okay.
So therefore, you'll be able to get more done when you're doing your art. So you'll be able to create more time. I know it sounds crazy, but...
Well, what if I'm also... See, I'm doing other things, though, for myself. Like I'm exercising, I'm drumming... Like I'm trying to apply to grad schools and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm doing all this stuff for other people. It's just that my schedule is full with my own stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you can carve out some time for your art.
Okay.
Being born in 1986, you are an artist, and you will be an artist. You will always be an artist from when you're 3 till you're 99. Like you'll be an artist always. And you may teach art and journal about art and write poetry and do paintings. And like your art isn't just one thing. It could be many, many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric.
Here's something else just to remember quickly, James, is that if you keep doing your art now, you're not going to lose those muscles. You're gonna enhance yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
We
Thank
miss
you so
you,
much.
Eric. Okay, take care.
I know, I miss you guys too. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Drop by. I just ran over across the cabin over here, knocked the phone down, and we're going to go to Amanda.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Sorry about the coughing. That's me. I'm so
that was
sorry.
you?
I've been sick.
Okay,
so
we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
All right.
And the husband. Hopefully 2 quick questions for Skeeter. I'm wondering who or what is in my apartment that messes with my blinds continuously. It's been going on for well over a year. It stopped for a little while, but it started up again, and it takes at least 3 times for me to firmly say, stop doing that, for it to stop.
It's just passing energies. You draw a lot of energies to you. Me and you have talked about this before.
Yeah.
You do invite a lot in by you. And that's one of their ways of catching your attention. They like your attention.
So it's not just one.
It's not just
spirit
one
coming through. It's God. Okay, great. Okay, so Second question. I think we talked about last time a little bit. A friend of ours, Brian, just recently passed away 2.5 weeks ago. I'm wondering if there's anything that he feels he needs to say or tell me, either myself or my husband, and if there's any way for me to help with what's going on with this side of the plane. There's a lot going on this side too, and it's incredibly sad and hard to watch, and I just want to try to help if I can.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I can.
First of all, sorry, Amanda. Skeeter, has Ryan crossed over?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So he's crossed. He's passed over. Anything that he's doing as far as communication is to help those on the living side. And this is something that me and you have talked about before, is being respectful of other people's space. That having the ability to hear and speak for spirit is a really great gift, but knowing when and when not is an important thing.
Yeah, that I've actually been extremely mindful of that this time around.
That's good. If anything, the message that he would like for you and your husband to have is it wasn't anyone's fault in particular or any one thing, and that he's just sorry that he didn't give anyone warning. But he is, where he is, he's actually at peace finally.
Good.
Amanda, does this have anything to do with like a path on a field, like a lot of bushes around on each side of the path? Does that?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
No.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything he needed to say, just in case he needed to say anything that I wasn't able to hear or feel. But there's a lot going on this side, and it's just a cluster, you know what, and I'm just wondering if there's anything I can do to help in any way. It's so heartbreaking. I don't want to bring it up on air, but it is. I've never seen anything like this. It's so sad.
He says it's part of their life paths. He says it's part of their lessons. You need to let them work through their lessons.
Yeah. I was saying that to somebody else today, actually, that we need to back off on trying to help and just let the people that are doing this figure it out for themselves.
That's probably why I drew a path
for them.
I was kind of like channeling, or like randomly drawing, and I drew a path coming down a hill with plants on each side of it.
I've just decided to be supportive everybody and just try not to get involved. I'm going to see how things play out. I've kind of made a big decision that if what I believe needs to be done isn't done by end of March, I'm going to slowly start trying to assist in a delicate way of...
If that's your path.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've even told myself, don't just let sleeping dogs lie and see where this goes with the other people, right?
Now, you may feel that
don't let my ego get in the way. Remember we talked about that, Skeeter?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I've thought so much about what you've said this time around. I'm like, nope, that's ego-based. Don't do it. Nope, that's you trying to be a hero. Don't do it.
Hey, Amanda.
I mean, way better this time.
Amanda, you have an ability, and unfortunately your ability draws people who need help to you. You have to understand that you can't help everybody.
No,
you help yourself first and then move on. And that's the hard
I've slowly started realizing. Yeah,
And we have to move on. This is my last
conversation. Yeah,
and we have
go
to
ahead,
move
guys.
on because I have one more caller. Okay, thanks, Amanda.
Thank
I'll see you in the week. Okay, we're going to bounce out to 780, another Alberta number, I believe. Who's this?
Craig.
Hey, Craig, how are you? Whereabouts in northern Alberta you calling from?
Well, right now I'm out by Fox Creek, but
I'm
later on
sorry.
I'll be back in Grand Prairie. Yeah, thanks.
I used to work in Grimshaw.
Okay.
Yeah, as happy as it sounds. We want to talk to Paisley or Skeeter. You want a reading or a numerology?
Yeah, like whatever. I'm easygoing. I just wanted to call and see what would happen.
Yeah, let's see who comes through.
Yeah.
Craig, did you have a question for us?
Not really. I'm not really that kind of person. I let things come to me, so.
Yeah. Okay. Pace or Skeeter?
Yes.
Anything coming through from Craig?
The one thing I'm seeing is you actually have a fairly good life right now, but you're kind of looking at different paths, changes, and it's more so based on emotional happiness more than financial happiness. Is that about right?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
So, as you're looking at these changes coming in, don't necessarily jump with what feels good. Go with what feels like home. I know that may sound a little odd, but you've actually got some really amazing talents and some really amazing gifts. You're very social. You're very personable. You've got some really. I'm trying to get a really good fix on the skills that you have. But basically, what it is that you could actually work for yourself if you wanted to, but you prefer to work with others. So as you're moving through, don't look for just what feels good, what makes you happy, what, catches the imagination. Look for whatever feels like home, like, this is where I belong. These are the people I've always known, I just didn't know it till now. So that's what I kind of mean by look for that place that feels like home as you're moving to switch gears. And I hope that makes sense.
No, it makes incredible sense. That's pretty neat, actually. Got a big smile on my face.
Oh, cool. Hey,
I'm impressed.
Yeah,
neat.
Craig.
Yeah.
Were you born in Alberta?
No, I'm from Ontario.
Oh, it's another one.
Yeah.
We had Tabitha on early. Yeah, from Ontario, working in Jasper. You have to drop in and see her.
And Craig,
cool.
where are you from in Ontario?
Kitchener-Waterloo.
Awesome.
Where are you from, Paisley?
I'm from Windsor, Ontario.
Okay. My parents actually moved down there recently. My dad's working at a big farm down there. So.
Oh, cool. Nice. Well, they would have got a good deal on a house. Yeah.
You working
down there?
Are you working in the oil patch?
Yeah. selling
for
my
you.
soul for some money. Not
Well,
really, no.
It's okay. What else is he going to do there? All those little tiny trees, you can't really log them. And if you could do something with the mud in the spring, that would be something good too. If you haven't,
we get it all over the place, right?
yeah, that lovely gumbo. My God. Do you?
I don't think there's a lot of things to do in Fox Creek, is there, other than play euchre?
Well, I don't actually. I'm just here now. I actually live in Evansburg or Entwistle.
Entwistle?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Down and I got buddies who live there.
Cowboy Trail in 16. Yep.
Yeah, he used to be an auxiliary in Spruce Grove, Alberta, an auxiliary Mountie out there, and he and they live just down the street from the school. Actually, they're in Evansburg. Hey, so anyway, it's been a very social call. Hey, I was going to ask, Skeeter, is this fellow an empath? Because I'm getting that from him.
He is, but he's not sure if he wants to be yet.
Okay. How long do you think? Before it's going to come through?
He's already been coming through.
Mm-hmm.
For probably the past 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So,
Greg,
it's always been a part of him. It's just he's becoming more and more aware of it within the last 6 months to a year.
Very cool. Do you know what that means, brother?
Yeah, I don't know. I can feel you on that.
Okay.
I hear that.
Yeah.
So I had a weird thing happen to me last year.
Yeah. What?
Well, I don't know. I was driving. I was out. I was leaving. I forget the name of the town, but all of a sudden I got hit with this weird feeling, and felt like there was a belt around my neck, and it was tight. But it wasn't me. It was somebody else. And then from there, it kept happening, kept coming back, and from there it's been kind of like a weird year. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
Can I give you a recommendation? Next time you feel that tightness around your throat, if you're in a place that you can, yell, scream, yell as loud as you can. Give that physical feeling a voice. I know that may sound weird, but trust me, it'll back off almost immediately, and you'll feel a sense of relief follow it.
Have you been getting any sleep paralysis or anything?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm good now. I started meditating and stuff and going into all sorts of weird stuff.
Welcome to all the weird stuff.
Yeah, it's all good. I've been here since 3, so
yeah.
All
good
good.
Lord. All right, brother. You have a
thank you
a good
very
night.
much, guys.
You take care.
Enjoyable. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank everybody else out there for tuning in and putting up with us at the front end of the show. Oh my gosh. And Paisley, we're not going anywhere near something in retrograde, okay? That is
No, we are
just not what we're going to talk about. But it's been interesting. It has been interesting. Skeeter, you want to tell our listener what happened?
Oh, the fun that I had after the one call where all of a sudden I started having spasms and throwing up.
Yeah, we had a caller before the break and a little bit after the break, but it affected Skeeter to the point of becoming physically sick, and yeah, it was pretty bad. So these are the things, if you're going to go out there and you think, I've got some psychic abilities and I can just open up and talk to people, there's consequences for playing around with this stuff sometimes, that if you don't learn how to block. And Skeeter's been doing this for a long, long time, and it is one of those things that you have to pay attention to. And she is a trained professional.
Yes.
It is something that if I was to open up and do a reading like that and get affected the same way she did, I'd probably be bedridden for a couple of days. But, it's not negative. It's just feeling energy that the caller felt when they went through their trauma.
Yeah, I got to go on their trip. I got to see what Spirit was actually trying to block me from. I was irritated that they weren't telling me what I wanted to know, so I forced it. And I got hit physically. Spasms up and down the right, left side, and the spasms, I was trying to hold my physical body, so they went to my stomach, and, well, let's say my birthday dinner's gone, so hopefully they'll take me out again.
Great. And this was, and just so everybody knows, because of our schedule change and things, this was Skeeter's relax in the bathtub night and drift away.
Yep.
And I said, no, you've got to come on. Well, I'd like to thank Skeeter Welhouse and Paisley Town. You can get a hold of Skeeter at bluemoonweaver.com and Paisley at paisleytown.com. And thanks again for everybody who phoned in. And we will see you in 2 weeks with Paisley Town, Joanna Banca. We'll see you next Sunday with a shift. And remember, until then, everybody, please just keep an open mind.
This is our last goodbye. Young hearts will stop. Torn souls set free. All that we have is now. If this is what you want, then come to me.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. And hey! Let's be careful out there.
Far over the snow, what are those voices? They sing as they go. What are those voices? Look up for the mountain. Because somebody hide, somebody better hide on through the hill, like a pack of angry wolves on the trail. We are after you, dead or alive. We are out to get you, dead or alive. And forget your soul. If you're the one, better run away. Son, you are done. Throw your gun away. Here come the Mounties to get the man they're after now. Run through the hill like a pack of angry wolves on the trail. Dead or alive, we are out to get you, dead or alive. If you're the one, better run away. Son, you are done. Throw your gun away. Here come the Mounties to get the man they're after. No!
I see dead people.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Dave's not here!
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.